fires took homes, memories, and a sense of normalcy. But they did not take the heart of this community.
It's a new beginning, but it also came with a lot of sorrow.
1 year later, we're back with the people who lived it, the ones still rebuilding, still grieving, and still finding ways to move forward. Today we share their stories of loss, survival, and resilience.
Good evening, everybody. You are watching a special edition of LA Live News Tonight on this Wednesday night, marking 1 year since the Palisades and Eaton fires. I'm Marla Tejas, live from the Palisades burn zone.
And I'm Christine Devine, live here in Altadena. If it's loud behind me, they are breaking it down after a commemoration here. We're, of course, marking 1 year since both fires exploded. The numbers here are staggering. Here, the Eaton fire, 19 people were killed and more than 9,000 structures destroyed.
Here in the Palisades, that fire killed 12, destroyed almost 7,000 structures. And it is still a long way ahead in terms of the road of recovery. And one of the biggest hurdles in that is getting the insurance payouts that so many people are deserved and owed. And that is one of the issues that we're tackling tonight. I spoke to an Eaton fire survivor who shared her experience with me.
It's been absolutely just torturous.
Elisa Jacobs Nixon last slept in her Altadena home on January 6th, 2025. For 2 decades, she and her husband paid their State Farm premiums, believing if disaster ever struck, they'd be protected.
We had never had an insurance claim, ever, for 20 years, and we'd been paying our premium.
The next night, January 7th, Elisa recorded the firestorm as it ripped through Altadena.
So you saw the wall of flames from this direction?
Yes.
The Nixons' house didn't burn to the ground, but Elisa says that doesn't mean it survived.
Your house didn't burn down, but it's not livable.
Not livable, oh gosh, no.
Ash and soot coat every surface. The home, she says, is toxic.
It has extreme toxicity damage, smoke damage, and it needs to be fully gutted. All of our belongings are still there, but they're going to be gone. They're going to be incinerated.
Forced into a rental, the Nixons began what they thought would be a straightforward insurance claim. Instead, months of emails, delays, and no clear answers, all while they continued paying their premiums.
My husband and I were like, thank God we have insurance. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And no, we are not okay.
Many people have just been strung out for a year.
Brian Hayden is a public adjuster fighting State Farm for payouts, not just for the Nixons, but for dozens of fire victims.
How has the claim process been for your wildfire zone clients?
Slow, tedious.
So slow, it caught the attention of Los Angeles County.
November 13th is when we sent a letter to State Farm asking for various documents and letting them know that we were doing an investigation.
State Farm, the largest private home insurer in California, representing more than 13,500 policyholders impacted by the Eaton and Palisades fires.
State Farm was getting a lot of really negative feedback from consumers, saying they were having long waits, they were getting denied.
The end game, the takeaway is what?
So hold them accountable. We want to make sure, State Farm lives up to its advertising of being a good neighbor.
Days after the county announced its investigation, things changed.
As soon as the county investigation was announced, all of a sudden we got all of these reports that, they had not given us. And then all of a sudden we also got some checks.
Yes, there was a change in pace from State Farm after the announcement of the investigation.
Joy Chen runs the Eaton Fire Survivors Network, now more than 10,000 members strong.
People started getting $70,000 checks, $100,000 checks, $2 million checks from State Farm.
Fox 11 spoke to 6 State Farm clients from the Eaton fire zone, as well as right here in the Palisades. Only Elisa Nixon would go on the record. They declined an on-camera interview, fearful State Farm would retaliate and drag out the payment process even longer.
That experience of the county launching investigation and immediately FedEx checks for $2 million started landing at people's homes taught us that State Farm could have paid all along. They just chose not to.
State Farm calls the county investigation a, quote, distraction, declining an on-camera interview. In a statement, the company says it has paid more than $5 billion in claims from the January fires and expects to pay up to $2 billion more, saying, quote, we actively work with each of our customers to understand the facts of their loss, identify the damages and applicable coverage, and ultimately resolve their claim.
We're hoping, that this also sends a message to other insurance companies to make sure that they're complying with the law and getting payments into their policyholders' hands.
The county says State Farm is cooperating, but how far that cooperation goes remains to be seen. For Elisa Jacobs-Nixon, what she's received so far is nowhere near enough.
Oh, no. It's a modicum of what it's going to take for us to do what needs to be done.
What's your message to State Farm?
It feels like they're trying to break us down. Like they're trying to put us in a place where we just give up and say, okay, you win.
You're not going to give up?
I'm not going to give up.
Lisa and her family are not giving up. Meantime, this news today, California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara announcing new legislation to cut red tape and speed up payouts for fire victims. Senate Bill 876 would double penalties for insurance violations. It would require insurance companies to pay restitution directly to policyholders, and it would also double the amount of money insurers would have to pay for living expenses. We did also extend an interview for an on-camera interview to Ricardo Lara, the insurance commissioner. He declined our interview request. Of course, we will stay on top of this investigation into State Farm because we thank Alyssa for sharing her story. But again, she is just one of hundreds, if not thousands, of customers in that very same position of being in that limbo stage. All right, I should point out the wind. It is very windy here in Pacific Palisades. Reminds you sort of the wind a year ago, obviously not nearly as strong. Let's check in with the conditions there in Altadena and Christine Devine.
Yeah, there's a breeze here in Altadena, but largely they're breaking down after an event, so it's very loud behind us. We talk about the homeowners, but a lot of people are renters. You were longtime renters. This is Tamara and Carlos Rodriguez. Talk about the night of the fire.
Well, our house was starting to fill with the smell of smoke. So I went out and I looked around, and I also talked to the neighbors, and the flames started coming over the mountain, and I called the 2 closest fire stations and talked to the captains, and they said at that point there was no need to evacuate, which we found out later that wasn't true because the flames, we had to flee for our lives, and the notifications we were receiving on our phones had to do with Palisades, not Altadena.
You feel like you didn't get alerts?
We got no alerts at all. I mean, the only alert I got for Altadena precisely was about 5 a.m. in the morning. And that's on the 8th, not on the 7th. On the 7th, we actually left our home around 9:15 p.m. And the only reason why we're here is because our neighbors and my wife, who actually asked me to check on the fire. And I went around in my car. I saw the wall of fire. I turned around and I say, let's get out of here.
All right, we should note they both work for JPL, and you loved the home that you rented.
Oh, yes, I loved it. I loved the animals and the view and the neighborhood. It was quiet. It was beautiful. It was peaceful.
But let's talk about now how the money's different now for you all.
Oh, right now it's we used to rent a home around $2,900 a month. It was a 1,600 square feet, and now we're renting a home around the same large quantity of feet, and now it's $5,000 a month.
$5,000 a month.
And we have a GoFundMe page, but we didn't even reach our goal. And we have to get out of the place we're in come April, and we don't know where we're going to go. And I got laid off from JPL when they did the last layoff. So I'm not even employed now.
Right. They're giving me a wrap. I just want to have you hold up some of the photos, that you have real quick. This is all you escape with. Your mom's photo, family photos here. And read for me quickly from your son. Your son is disabled. Give me one last line here.
Derek Porter-Peter. This fire laid bare the broken nature of our system and how the most vulnerable always pay the price. May Altadena rise again. Love you and miss you, Derek Porter-Peter.
Tamara and Carlos, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know this is a very tough time. All right. That's going to do it from here in Altadena. And I send it back to Marla.
Oh, gosh. Her grief, emotions palpable. Thank you, Christine. All right, I am live at Palisades, Palisades Park and Rec Center, just to give you some sort of a perspective of where I am. Behind me is the Alphabet Streets, all in dark tonight. Off to my right is the Palisades Village. That means that's where Rick Caruso is tonight. That is his village, if you will. Matthew Seedorf picks up our coverage now. You had a witness to a lighting ceremony earlier. Matthew?
Yeah, Rick Caruso lighting 3 beams of light that are shining above the Palisades tonight. Michael, go ahead and show you. Those 3 beams represent all the communities that were decimated by the LA fires, Altadena, Malibu, and Pacific Palisades, shining high above the Palisades. That beam can be seen very far away tonight. And Mike, I just want to show people this is kind of what we're seeing in the Palisades. We're in the Alphabet Streets. We have homes under construction. This one's using steel framing. We've got more homes under construction down that way. There's other lots that are still empty and tight. We're speaking with people now 1 year after the deadly Palisades fire.
I have my 6 palm trees survived. That's it. But, obviously, it was an emotional day. I was crying first off.
It feels sad. It feels melancholy. It feels familiar. It feels like we're happy to be together, that we're all actually still here, even though, we all have our lives. So that's the good thing.
I just miss my home so much, and I wish I could come back, but, I don't know,
I'm hugely frustrated, yeah.
Why is that?
Because the process has taken so long and been so challenging and so many hoops to jump through. Some of the permit fees they're trying to charge us are just crazy. I mean, it's been very difficult and challenging.
The mayor and the governor, they're talking about record speed of rebuilding.
That is total BS. Total BS. The record speed was the Army Corps of Engineers that was out here that did incredible work. There is no record speed. I'd love to see either of them prove that.
I know you've been
that's all politics. That's genius politics.
Some of the feelings, too, are of hope and guidance, but also that we're frustrated that nothing else has really happened, and that's what it's so special about being here. You're seeing people and that are making things happen.
Many people seeing their neighbors for the first time in a year, really, tonight at that event. You can see the lights again one more time out here live. This is hopefully giving people some hope as they try to get back home. But again, this is just such a tough year. And just looking up at the lights, I think that is a sense of hope for so many people. And they think back to what they've experienced these last 365 days. Reporting live in the Alphabet Streets, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, you are a stone's throw away from where I'm standing. I can see those 3 beams of light off to my right here. It's just a little too difficult to show our viewers from my vantage point. Those will stay lit tonight. Is this a nightly thing from here on out, or was this just a special occasion tonight?
Yeah, so they're going to light these beams every night through the end of January. So until the last day of the month, the beams will be lit every night. And that's to symbolize because the fire burned and was not fully contained until the last day of January.
Yeah, January 31st is the end date to those devastating and deadly fires. All right, Matthew Seedorf, thank you so much. Our special coverage of LA Live News tonight continues, but first, the day's news. Rob Ryder's son, Nick Ryder, facing murder charges in the death of his parents. His attorney suddenly drops the case. What we know, that's next.
And in our forecast, we've got the winds picking up tonight. You may have noticed from our reports out there in the field, and those winds get even stronger tomorrow. We have high wind warnings, wind advisories, and Santa Ana winds that'll be with us for several days. I'll have that details in the forecast coming up.
Welcome back, everyone, to our special coverage, Eaton and Palisades fires 1 year later. I'm Marla Tejas. LA Live News tonight continues now. I'm live in the Pacific Palisades burn zone. It's pretty remarkable to think what the background behind me here looked like 365 days ago. It is pitch black. It is eerily windy, ironically windy, if you will, given what we experienced 365 days ago. But obviously dry conditions out here tonight. Driving here, Christine, it was nice to see rebuilds underway and the hillsides green.
Yes, there's been a lot of rain adding to all that green. I am here in Altadena where an event just wrapped up. They're breaking down one of the canopies right here behind me. It has been a very busy news day on another front, so we're going to check in right now with Susan Hirosuna, who's in the Fox 11 studio. Susan.
All right, we do have some breaking news to tell you about out of Salt Lake City. 2 people were killed in a church shooting at a funeral outside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 8 others were injured, 3 of which are critical. Police are looking for suspects at this hour. Developing news in Minneapolis, where a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. The Department of Homeland Security maintains the shooting was in self-defense, and the woman driver was targeting an agent with her vehicle. State and local officials tell a different story. The Minneapolis City Council identified the woman who was killed as Renee Nicole Good. This comes as roughly 2,000 ICE agents are in Minneapolis for what they're calling their biggest immigration operation ever. Minneapolis's mayor laying blame for the incident squarely on their shoulders.
ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. Shots being fired as the car was driving away. The narrative that this was just done in self-defense is a garbage narrative.
It's not clear if the vehicle actually struck the officer. Many ICE agents do not wear body cameras. A bombshell twist in the double murder case against Nick Reiner. His high-profile lawyer, that is, quit.
Your Honor, at this time, I, on behalf of Workman Jackson and Quinn, and with Mr. Reiner's understanding and consent, would ask to withdraw as counsel of record.
Nick Reiner was expected to enter a plea today in the murders of his parents, Rob and Michelle. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez was in the courtroom when the drama unfolded.
Guilty of murder? Nick Reiner, 100% is not guilty.
But high-profile attorney Alan Jackson will not be representing Nick Reiner, who is facing murder in the stabbing deaths of his parents, actor, director, and producer Rob Reiner, and his wife, Michelle.
We feel that we have no choice at this juncture but to withdraw as counsel and ask to be relieved. The Public Defender's Office has been notified.
I really agree, Jared Giuliani with the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Mr. Reiner.
That's right. The Public Defender's Office is taking over the case in court, where only sketches of Nick Reiner were allowed, occasionally smiling with a freshly shaved head. The 32-year-old was no longer wearing a suicide prevention vest. His voice heard only when agreeing to move his arraignment until next month.
Yeah, I agree.
19-year veteran public defender Kimberly Green confirms they just got the case.
I only spoke to Mr. Reiner for about 30 seconds this morning. I have no comment about his mental state. I have not.
The only explanation from Alan Jackson?
Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control have made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick.
It's not uncommon for private counsel to turn over cases to us, so no, nothing about that would complicate the situation.
The defense says they'll be ready, and so does the prosecution.
We are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, and do so unanimously.
Reiner's family releasing a statement saying, in essence, they have the utmost respect for the legal process, but that they will not comment any further. Now, Reiner remains in custody, no bail. We expect him to be back in court for his arraignment in February 23rd. We'll be there. I'm Christina Gonzalez in downtown Los Angeles, Fox 11 News.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Solar.
All right, time for our forecast. This is a live view as we have a cool and clear and somewhat breezy night, and winds are actually a big part of our weather story for several days going forward. Let's get to our headlines. So we're looking at a cool and windy day coming our way tomorrow. Some spots have that high wind warning. That's also going to help produce a couple of really cold nights for us. During the day, at least we'll have the sunshine. It'll be just kind of cool during the day. And then Santa Ana winds will be with us really from Friday all the way, we think, into about Wednesday of next week, which will bring warmer temperatures, especially this weekend and into next week. Okay, so wind alerts. We have a high wind warning, which is a little more extreme than the wind advisory, but just in general, gusty winds for Thursday, and for some areas beyond Thursday can be expected. In the high wind warning area, winds out of the north at about 20 to 40, but gusting up to 60 plus in some of those higher elevations, and then 15 to 25 with gusts to 40 40 in the wind advisory area, which includes a lot of LA and Orange County as well. So let's show you what it looks like on the map as we plot out the forecast wind gusts. And you're going to notice with the winds coming out of the northwest, that's going to allow a lot of, let's say, LA to Orange County experience some of those gusty winds. Now you see the purple colors indicating where the strongest winds will be. Then the winds change. This is not a Santa Ana wind yet Thursday, but it is on Friday. Santa Ana wind will be the direction blowing offshore. And then you get the mountains protecting some parts of LA, but there's going to be these typical Santa Ana wind prone areas or corridors where the winds will continue strong, gusting again over 35 or over 40 at times. So this is that little system that's bringing those winds. Notice this high pressure settling in, boosting our temperatures this weekend and next week, but also keeping that dry Santa Ana offshore wind going for several more days. All right, right now let's head back to Christine in Altadena.
We're thinking about the wildfires 1 year ago and think of the firefighters who were here in this community fighting this fire as their own communities burned down for some of them. We talked to a Pasadena firefighter who lost his home here in the Eaton fire. Nick Garcia has his story.
When the Eaton fire tore through Altadena a year ago, among the thousands of homes the flames leveled was Chen Hughes. Yu himself was fighting the fire, even though it was his day off from the Pasadena Fire Department.
What's going through my mind is that my brothers and sisters are going to need help that night. So shortly after we got an evacuation notice, my wife took my boys and headed just south. And I got in my truck and I headed south into work.
Yu, like thousands of other firefighters, worked through the night.
I just remember so much devastation, just so much fire. You know, so many homes that were on fire, that we were in the neighborhood just above PHS.
When he got off work the next day, he found out his house was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just filled with shock. I didn't really know what to feel.
Now the rubble has been cleared, and nothing can stop the progress of the rebuild.
Yeah, that's music to my ears, you know, just because something's happening and we're getting closer to coming back home.
He says construction should be completed this summer. On this day, he's reflecting on the last 365. And like a true hero, he's being humble about his courageous work.
A day at a time. I think what I did that night was the easy part. There are so many other people that are doing the harder part of supporting the community in Altadena and continued support that we need.
Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
All right, another big issue that we want to talk about tonight. The California Department of Real Estate warning of a growing problem. Listen to this. Scammers trying to sell vacant lots that they don't even own. This is happening in fire zones. Real estate expert, realtor, owner of Amalfi Estates, Anthony Margulis, joins me now live. Thanks for taking the time out. I know this night is especially difficult for you as well because you yourself lost your home. That means you have a vacant lot here as well. We're talking about this latest scam. How prevalent is this?
It's very prevalent. The Department of Real Estate just issued an advisory to all 400,000 agents in the state because it's so prevalent right now. The reason it's so prevalent is because a lot of these owners don't live on the property. They're elderly. They have no mortgage on the property. So they're easy victims. So they contact a real estate agent, these scammers. They say, I'm the owner of the property and I want you to list it. They typically list it below market. They recommend no for sale sign on the property. And they list it below market in order to get a quick sale. And the goal is that they can get the funds wired. We're talking several $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. They've tried to do it twice with our company, and luckily we prevented it before it happened.
Oh, good for you. Really important to be able to broadcast this to give people a heads up. But why are scammers so seemingly able to do this so easily?
It's easy to access public records right now, and because there's no mortgage on the property, typically real estate agents just verify, oh, that's the owner's name. Now we have to go a step farther. We actually have to make sure, either have an in-person meeting or a Zoom meeting where we verify a government-issued ID that we can see that's the real owner. In addition, we recommend that they look at either a utility bill or a property tax bill with the owner's name on it. And then lastly, what we really need to do and tell all real estate agents is they need to certify mail a copy of the listing agreement to the address on file in the public records So then the real owner will know that someone's trying to sell their property.
Viewers who have a vacant lot and they're concerned about this, how do they best protect themselves?
What they need to do is they need to check online, make sure their property's not listed on the market.
Okay, well, it seems simple enough. Hopefully people heed your warning because it's significant, because I know the Department of Real Estate doesn't issue warnings often.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rare.
Okay, very rare. Yeah. Anthony Margulis, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's really windy. It's really cold.
If I had hair, you'd see it blow.
Yeah, they're seeing mine blow enough. Okay, thank you so much. Let's check in with Gina Silva. She's live in Sierra Madre tonight.
That's right. Wildfire survivors receive unexpected help on the one-year anniversary. We were there for the big surprise, and we'll have that story right after the break.
One year ago, January 7th, the Altadena and Palisades fires turned ordinary days into a fight for survival.
We've never had a fire like this. It's bad. It's horrific.
Flames moved fast. Smoke filled the sky, and thousands were forced to leave everything behind. Today, we look back.
My neighborhood.
But we also look forward.
Even with it burnt down, look how beautiful it is.
Because in the years since, this community has shown what resilience really looks like. Rebuilding homes, reclaiming hope, and finding strength in one another. This is the story of a community still healing and still standing.
Welcome back, everybody, to LA Live News Tonight, a special edition tonight as we mark 1 year since the Eaton and Palisades fire. We are live from each community. Me in the Pacific Palisades, I'm Marla Tejas and Christine Devine in Altadena tonight.
Yeah, and we have our reporters out in the field as well tonight. And there's one organization that continues to help survivors with relief. Let's go now to Fox 11's Gina Silva.
And that organization, of course, is the YMCA. And I have to tell you, it was such a beautiful event for these families who lost so much a year ago. Now, they came out here. They knew they were going to receive some sort of assistance, but they didn't know exactly what it was. Take a look.
Oh, man, it's a blessing. I'm going to cry. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Immense gratitude inside the Pasadena Sierra Madre YMCA Wednesday afternoon as wildfire impacted families received bags of groceries, essential supplies, and $1,000 gift cards.
Was it a surprise? A big surprise, really. And I'm so appreciative because, you know, I wasn't for $1,000 for a time like this, very timely.
Anyone that was impacted by the fires.
In addition, the YMCA of Metropolitan Los Angeles announced it will extend free services for wildfire survivors through the end of 2026, covering everything from childcare and summer camps to mental health support and youth sports.
This is not a short-term recovery process. This is a long-term recovery process, and that is the commitment from the YMCA of Metropolitan Los Angeles.
I'm not from this community, but I'm an Angelino, and I love all our Angelinos, no matter what neighborhood, and it was just really important for me to be here and give back at the minimum.
I had no idea what it was going to be, but this is awesome and really helpful, yeah. They've been great all year.
I don't know what to say. It's an emotional day because of the anniversary, but it's nice that people are continuing to do stuff like that because it's not over. It's really an ongoing thing.
100 families received the $1,000 gift cards, and they all told us that the YMCA has been wonderful all year round. I'll send it back to you guys out in the field.
Yeah. A reminder that the need continues. All right, Gina, thank you so much. Let's go to Marla now in the Palisades area.
Christine, a year after the Eaton fire, a local contractor who lost his home is helping his own neighbors rebuild and return to the community they love. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon shares how he's using his passion to help others in Altadena persevere.
We're moving forward and working with the clients as we're rebuilding.
And you have to kind of figure out your outlets.
David Lee is a longtime resident of Altadena, a licensed contractor well-versed in construction, contracts, and custom homes. But he never thought he'd lose his own home in a matter of minutes.
This was my trauma response to seeing and being in the fire. It was a complete shock to all of us.
His mission to help others rebuild, sparked by his over 20 years of working as a professional contractor.
How can I use my education, my skill to help the neighborhood? And that's how Rebuild Altadena was born. We hold your hand through the planning process all the way up to the construction. Since January 7th, we probably had 1,000 people through our doors.
One of those was Nicole Worth.
I honestly was in survival mode, so I really didn't know what to do. I had never had experience building a home.
A year later, she and her family would not have imagined they'd be this far along in the rebuild process.
Frankly, the only reason why I'm at the stage I'm at is because Rebuild Altadena was so good at getting permits in and not having any changes that needed to be made and communicating to me so that I could advocate as well.
And we're going to add some software that we're going to talk to you about.
David says at the heart of Rebuild Altadena is transparency. They offer a list of vetted professionals so displaced residents are not taken advantage of.
We vet them for their licenses, their insurance, their past work. I meet with them personally and try to figure out their intentions.
The other component, making sure new homes stay true to the spirit of Altadena, which is where residential designer Stephen Lamb, who also lost his home in the fire, comes in.
David is very, very concerned that Altadena remain Altadena, and because of my background in historic preservation, I'm sort of along to kind of make sure that We do preserve as many architectural details as we can in a way that people can actually afford.
We were just saying how you're helping us so that we can have our water filter over here.
While Altadena residents still face many challenges, David says for him, Rebuild Altadena has been therapy in itself.
Being able to help in that sense and guide them through this, and then being a source that they can lean on, and the community that we have built among us, it has been amazing.
In Altadena, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
This is a story now of loss and what to do about it. I have Brandon Jay with me of Altadena Musicians. Let's just go back to the day you lost your home.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so I lived very close to where we are right now, and my wife and I are music composers. We did the music on Orange is the New Black, and we lost our home and we lost our recording studio in the fire. And then we played a show about a week and a half after the fire, and people showed up and started bringing us instruments, and it gave me the idea to start this foundation called Altadena Musicians, and to connect people that have extra instruments with people that lost all of their instruments. And we don't delineate between someone being a professional or anything. It's just anyone that lost an instrument. We help to try to replace them.
Fox 11 has covered your amazing works. I'm amazed that you took action like that. What are you doing now?
So we're still going strong. We have a location on the border of Pasadena and Altadena called Backyard Party, which is an all-ages music venue and a spot where instruments can be dropped off. We're setting up a free record store, so anybody that lost vinyl in the fire can come and shop for free. And we're just keeping things going, and we can use support. We always need donations of money to pay for instrument repair and piano moving and piano remediation, and to keep our foundation going. And we just want to spread the word that we're here, and we're here to support people, and we want to replace all the instruments that were lost in the fire.
Altadena Musicians is the name if you want to donate anything in any sort. What have you done that stands out so far that is really great?
It's just been so much. From the smallest harmonica to the biggest piano we've gotten. We placed 2 Steinway pianos a week ago. There was a woman that lived on my street who was a piano teacher, and she was mourning the loss of her Steinway, and someone popped up and was like, I have a 1906 Steinway worth about $50,000, and we connected them, and now she's playing again. So, when people support us and reach out to us, we can make things like that happen, and people just need help, and they need music in their lives, and so we're here to support that.
Quickly, how did you have the courage to take action like this?
Because I'm going through it, and I lost my home and I lost instruments, and people started giving to me. It gave me the idea to get broad with it and make it available to other people and see how can we help other people get instruments. And everybody seems to have an instrument laying around that they don't use, so they can connect with us, and we can connect them with someone that lost something, and they can move that instrument forward and have someone playing it.
I love it. You're wonderful, and I love that we've told your story a couple times on Fox 11. Brandon Jay, Altadena Musicians, thank you so much. To Adam Kruger now with the weather.
Yeah, so wind is a part of our story now. The rain is long gone. We have dry weather ahead, but concerning winds going into tomorrow with a high wind warning, which will convert to a Santa Ana wind on Friday. That's going to hang around for several days. That'll have a big impact on our temperatures also. I've got that forecast coming up.
Our special coverage continues tonight on this 1 year since the Eaton and Palisades fire. I'm Marla Tejas, live in the Palisades fire burn zone tonight.
And I'm Christine Devine here in Altadena. We'll be here all night for you. In the meantime, though, Susan here is in our studio, has also been covering the fire story. Susan?
Marla and Christine, if most of our fire coverage last year was shocking and heartbreaking, one moment was heartwarming. A little boy insisted to his parents he wanted to check out his house, even after they told him it burned to the ground. I spoke with Henry Giles 2 days after the Eaton fire broke out. That interview went viral and inspired a new children's book.
And everything is broken and it's all lost its color.
Henry Giles was 6 years old when he approached me during a live interview to talk about the night the wildfire forced his family from their home in Altadena.
We didn't realize that our house was going to burn like this.
This interview went viral and touched hearts all over the world.
And that was our chimney where Santa comes and now it's gone.
His mother turned Henry's words into this book, When the Skies Lost Its Colors.
When he said it all lost its color, I think it just touched so many of us. It kind of stayed with me, and I think, and also those people that reached out to us, it was very impactful, and it was pretty poetic, and I felt that it was also a way of helping my son cope and heal, and also use it as a tool to help other kids.
Advanced sales of the book will coincide with the 1 year anniversary of the Eaton fire, and some of the proceeds will go to Henry's school, Altadena Arts Magnet.
So we need to raise money because they're losing money because of the fire, and they're losing teachers, and they're losing students.
Henry read a couple of pages for me.
That's my dad's bicycle. I told a kindness lady who was asking questions. My mom's bicycle is here somewhere.
Since the fire, the family has settled into this home in Sherman Oaks, about 22 miles from Altadena. Henry now plays piano. His 6-year-old brother, Lucas, plays violin. Henry was a little worried Santa Claus might have trouble finding him and his brother at the new home.
We need a new house so Santa can find us. I wanted to make cookies for Santa to make sure he could find us. So then the next morning, he left a note, and he ate the cookies. Mom put her hand on my shoulder. We'll build again, she said.
Rebuilding might take another year or more, but just like the book, this story ends with love and hope.
They have a very beautiful Christmas and nice gifts and everything.
Henry also told me on that day almost a year ago that what upset him the most was the loss of his brand new 3D printer. So many people reached out to me to replace it, and in the end, a Fox 11 viewer bought him a new printer. And then so many other Fox 11 viewers wanted to help the family. Daisy then created a list, not just for her family, but also her niece's family. Our weather was a major driving force in the explosion of both the Palisades and Eaton fire. Let's go to meteorologist Adam Kruger for a look back on conditions 1 year ago today.
Yeah, and of course, the big thing a lot of people remember is how extreme the winds were, about as extreme as they can get. And also, we had extremely dry air. But let's look back at what happened in the months leading up to the fires. So we're focusing on the 8 months prior to January 7th, going back to May. And this year, obviously, we know we have wet weather lately. It's been over 14 inches of rain during that time frame, which makes it the 4th wettest May to January on record, with 15 days of 1/10 of an inch or more and no drought at all. In fact, the entire state of California has no drought right now. 1 year ago, in the 8 months leading up to the fires, it was just 0.16 inches of rain. There was not one day where we had 1/10 of an inch of rain or more, and we were in severe drought. And also, just to go back even a little farther, if you think about the winter prior to when the fires started in January, it was a very wet winter, which allowed a lot of vegetation to build up, and then it all got fried and dried out because we had essentially no rain the rest of the year. And it was essentially a perfect storm in terms of the vegetation, the drought, and then, of course, the extreme weather. And all it took was a spark, and we saw what happened. Now, we are focusing on our forecast going forward with more strong winds in mind. We don't have red flag warnings or fire weather warnings in effect here, but there's going to be a pretty strong wind out of the northwest, especially in these yellow colored areas. That's the high wind warning, where sustained winds will be about 20 to 40, but gusts could be 60 plus. In the tan, that wind advisory won't be quite as extreme, but it will be breezy for sure. Now, initially tomorrow, and we're already starting to see it tonight, winds are coming out of that northwest direction. So there's going to be some streaks here where we have some of the stronger winds in the red and purple. And then notice as we go into Friday, the winds are changing direction. This is more of a Santa Ana wind, which blows straight offshore, usually from the northeast. And then in these cases, a lot of times, we've got a lot of LA kind of protected by the San Gabriel Mountains. So the winds kind of funnel around those. So there's going to be some areas where it's going to be windy on Friday, but it won't be everyone. Whereas tomorrow, I think many areas will see that breezy wind. Temperatures overnight tonight, by the way, it'll be cold. We've got a lot of 40s on the map, maybe closer to 50 near the coast. Highs tomorrow, it's going to be our coolest out of the next several days, and it's not like it's that cold, but highs will be in the low 60s, mid 60s for many areas on the map right there. Notice the nighttime temperatures. The lows will continue cold. Thursday night is 42, and then 43 Friday night, 46 Saturday night. The high temperatures, though, will be going up every single day. Looking nice this weekend, sunny, 72 on Sunday, and we're heading well into the 70s next week. We're back right after this break.
One of which I told you I'd show you a cleanup kit. This is a cleanup kit. It has all of them, because I started as a biologist, but then your generation has 10,000 biologists, so I have to look at chemistry. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah.
That does it for us. Our coverage continues on LA Live News tonight at 9 o'clock.
Back more when we come back.
1 year ago, flames ripped through the Eaton and Palisades communities, forcing families to run.
I saw the fire coming from the back to the front, and it was coming fast.
And changing lives forever. Homes were lost, neighborhoods forever altered. And for many, the road back has been long and still is.
This is still a long journey.
It's a balance of gratitude and grief.
But now we also mark something else, the strength that rose from the ashes. Neighbors helping neighbors, communities rebuilding together. 1 year later, we return to the places forever changed and the people who refused to be defined by the fire.
Good evening, everybody. At 9 o'clock, you're watching a special edition of LA Live News Tonight on this Wednesday night. I'm Marla Tejas, live from the Palisades burn zone area.
And I'm Christine Devine. I'm live in Altadena. What you're seeing behind me is an empty lot. This is busy Lake Avenue. That used to be businesses and a cultural center behind me, and it all burned to the ground. But we've got great stories here also of resilience. In fact, our Laura Diaz is in Pasadena at a concert for fire survivors.
But first, we kick things off tonight with Matthew Seedorf. He's not far from where I am in the Palisades, where you witnessed a special lighting ceremony held by Rick Caruso. Matthew?
Yeah, Marla, Rick Caruso holding that event tonight. It was so great to see so many people from the community, hundreds of people getting together, many for the first time, old neighbors seeing each other for the first time since that fire now exactly 1 year ago. But Mike will show you the beam lighting that took place tonight. You can see this. The three beams shining high above the Palisades, that is representing the three communities devastated by last year's LA fires. Of course, that would be Altadena, Malibu, and Pacific Palisades. But if you zoom out here, you can see what Pacific Palisades looks like. We're in the alphabet streets. You've got some homes under construction, this one being made of steel. We've got more homes under construction down the street. Others are still empty lots, as we're now hearing from people exactly 1 year after the Palisades fire.
I have my 6 palm trees, survived, that's it. But, obviously, it was an emotional day. I was crying first off.
It feels sad, it feels melancholy, it feels familiar. It feels like we're happy to be together, that we're all actually still here, even though, we all have our lives. So that's the good thing.
I just miss my home so much, and I wish I could come back, but I don't know,
I'm hugely frustrated, yeah.
Why is that?
Because the process has taken so long and been so challenging and so many hoops to jump through. Some of the permit fees they're trying to charge us are just crazy. I mean, it's been very difficult and challenging.
The mayor and the governor, they're talking about record speed of rebuilding.
That is total BS. Total BS. The record speed was the Army Corps of Engineers that was out here that did incredible work. There is no record speed. I'd love to see either of them prove that.
I know you've been
that's all politics. That's genius politics.
Some of the feelings, too, are of hope and guidance, but also that we're frustrated that nothing else has really happened, and that's what it's so special about being here. You're seeing people and that are making things happen.
A lot of people expressing that frustration tonight after everything that they've been through this last year, but also expressing hope that they'll be able to fight back and get home as soon as they can. We're live tonight. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, from my vantage point here, I know you're behind me in the alphabet streets, but I can see those beams of light shining through. Those will shine through January 31st. That is the official end date to the Palisades fire. While you had him, I know that you asked Mr. Caruso about his political future. I know today's not necessarily about politics, but then again, he is a big name around here, and he's been thinking about making a run for mayor or governor. What'd you get out of him tonight?
Yeah, he's really not giving away any secrets in that. There's a lot of speculation. Will he run for governor of California? Will he run for mayor of Los Angeles? Tonight, he really didn't want to give one way or the other, but he says he will be making that decision soon.
Yeah, I think in the coming days. We look forward to that. Matthew Seedorf, thank you so much for your reporting. We want to now introduce Laura Diaz to our coverage. She is in Pasadena, where you witnessed a benefit concert tonight. What was the energy like there, Laura?
Amazing energy to see all the people who came together to try to raise money to help the victims of the Pasadena fire. And you know what, Marla? There were names that are legendary. There were names that are emerging, but they all came together to perform on stage to raise money. There was a lot of love in the air.
It's in my backyard. You know, my daughter goes to school right down the street.
The meaning to me is the fact that they're donating their time and their talent and their name to something like this. And that's not a small thing, given that a lot of these people don't live here.
There's no real genre on tonight. It's just great music. And I think anyone that loves music will enjoy it tonight.
It was a sold-out concert tonight at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium, 3,000 seats that went fast for the benefit concert. Now, organizers told me they hope to raise $500,000 when all is said and done. Proceeds will go to the Altadena Builds Back Foundation. The concert featured artists like Dawes and Friends, Eric Krasno, Jackson Brown, Brad Paisley, and Osimatli. Now, I will tell you this, the concert is still going on at this hour. I had a chance to meet a lot of wonderful people, including a mom and a daughter who I hope to be able to share more with you at 10 o'clock. They came all the way from Indiana because her daughter is a guitarist. And when she found out about the concert, she said, Mom, I simply have to go. The mom came up with the money. They flew here. It was her Christmas present, and they're still inside there. Now, we were sent a little bit of video of the concert right as I was coming out to the camera. We'll have that for you at 10 o'clock. But really just a great vibe inside, Marla. People really wanting to contribute. And the people that you heard from at the top, those performers, many of them live here in Pasadena, Altadena. In fact, one of the members of Dawes, the brother, lost his home, as did their parents. So they're very personally connected to what happened here. They wanted to show up in their community, and they said they want to remind people that we can all pull together and we can all help in our own way. And you could certainly feel that in Pasadena tonight. Marla?
So needed. And Laura, let me ask you that. I know that today is so triggering for everyone who experienced what we did 1 year ago. How important is it for moments and events like the one you're at tonight?
Well, I think it's all about, walking the process and trying to come full circle, which does not mean that people have gotten their lives back together. They certainly haven't. People are still trying to rebuild. We heard from students who said they still remember that day very, very well. Part of the process is being together and expressing themselves. Young people got up there and sang. There was a choir from one of the local schools. They see this as a moment of empowerment, sharing their stories, not just the adults, but the kids. They witnessed it too. So by being able to share their craft, their music, their message, they felt all of that was empowering and part of that pathway to healing. Marla?
Amen. All right, Laura, thank you so much. As mentioned, I'm here live in a very windy Palisades tonight. Let's check in with Christina Vine in Altadena.
Yeah, let's talk about jumping into action. This is my good friend Josiah Bruni of Music Changing Lives. From Altadena, Livsna, i.e., the fires hit, you jump into action.
Yes, ma'am. Instantly, I got called by the county, and that night we were creating the plan for Hildena.
Well, we know Altadena is known for its rich black community. You wanted to make a difference that way. We were with you at Metropolitan Baptist Church. What kind of services did you provide?
We were blessed to be able to provide free food, free clothes, non-essential items, so much for the community. And now we're in a position where we're trying to help rebuild people after getting them into temporary housing.
We should note you went to high school right behind me here. It's burned out.
Middle school. It was actually Elliott Middle School, and it is burnt out, and I don't know if it'll come back or not.
So I was at the church on Sunday, Metropolitan Baptist Church, 35 members of that congregation lost their homes. What are the needs right now?
Right now, those 35 families and another 3,000 that we've worked with since the beginning of this fire, we're looking for them to get help with rebuilding. Shout out to companies like AIA Pasadena, where we're getting the architects involved, but now we need the funds to help them actually rebuild.
And the church still does monthly donations and resources. Your organization is Music Changing Lives. You do a lot of great work with a nonprofit. How can people help out with giving back?
Yes, please contact us at Just Like It Sounds, www.musicchanginglives.org, and come visit and get involved with us on our fourth Saturday. We're there from 9 a.m. to about 1 p.m. distributing and showing love to the community.
And you have a message for young people that, and we're looking right now at some of the works at the church there. And those were that guy brought his sons out to volunteer, right? And you've had organizations come with giveaways here.
Yes, so the message that I'm telling the young people, no matter what your background is, you can get involved and do something for your community as long as it's positive. Get out, stand up, and do something right for the people.
What kind of hope do you have for 2026?
Man, my hope is big for 2026. I'm looking for organizations to get together and we rebuild our community stronger than ever.
And it's going to take some time?
It is. It's taken about already, we see now 365 days, and it's going to take longer, but we're in it for the long haul.
And a lot of families still displaced.
Yes, so many. Like I said, we've worked with over 3,000 families, and we're trying to get them in housing, temporary housing, and so much more.
And what is one question that you're hearing from families when it comes to trying to recover from such terrible loss?
Mainly, where's the real resources and dollars? A lot of organizations are getting these dollars, but it's not getting directly to the people.
And also, finding housing has been a challenge?
Yes, finding housing is something that's comfortable. As you know, Altadena is a very beautiful town, so some of these people aren't used to being boxed in small communities, and that's been a real challenge.
All right, thank you so much, Josiah Bruni with Music Changing Lives. Appreciate all the hard work that you do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to have more news when we come back, still ahead. Fire Safe Homes. We hear from a business working to keep you and your belongings safe.
And a family rooted in Altadena for over 50 years is now facing the challenge of rebuilding after devastating fires. Tonight, hear how one woman's journey back home has taken an unexpected turn. Plus, a look at your forecast with Adam.
Well, we don't have red flag warnings in effect, but we do have high wind warnings that kick in tomorrow. Wind advisories for a lot of the area as well. So the winds start ramping up, and also Santa Ana winds will be with us for many days to follow. And that's going to bring our temperatures up a lot as well. I've got your forecast coming up soon.
Fire-safe homes sound too good to be true? Well, not according to one business who is helping many homeowners rebuild their homes fire safe here in the Palisades and other burn zones. Gray Bailey, he is with this company called Frontline Wildfire Defense. He's taking the time out tonight to join me live. You drove all the way up from San Diego. We appreciate you.
No problem.
We know that this company, this technology is prevalent here in the burn zones. But first and foremost, for people who aren't familiar, what is your technology?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having us. So Frontline Wildfire Defense is a fully automated wildfire defense system. You can think about this as a digital fire department for your home or your business. The way that this is accomplished is by installing exterior sprinkler hardware and comboing that with a very robust software platform that actively tracks, monitors, and reacts to fire activity.
Technology also includes the sprinklers and foam as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, correct. So our system utilizes both water and firefighting foam to basically make water wetter and allow hydration to stay on the structure for a longer period of time, therefore creating an environment where embers are just simply landing and putting themselves out.
Homeowners here who are rebuilding, they have turned to you to protect their homes. How many are we talking? And did it save some of the homes in last year's fires?
Yes. So we had 61 systems live throughout the Palisades and Malibu. We had a 96% success rate with protecting those homes. Since the fire a year ago, our inquiries for working with Frontline have gone skyrocketed, 2,500%. Currently, right now, we're working with over 200 families in the Palisades and Malibu with either a rebuild or a retrofit, and these are conversations that go on all day, every day.
I know a lot of people have hesitancy about rebuilding in a burn zone. For those who are hearing you and say it sounds great, I'm still a little hesitant to do so. What's your message to those homeowners?
My message is we just have to shift the perspective. A great case in point is Thomas James Homes. They're building new homes here in the Palisades. They've partnered with us and getting a home that's fully wildfire protected with the Frontline system on it. So it's not that it's looking to rebuild in a different way. Obviously, codes are going to change and things of that nature, but I think what we really need to look for is we need to take a step towards personal protection, and these systems are available.
And lastly, cost can be a factor for some folks, and if they say, oh gosh, this is just too expensive, you think of the alternative perhaps. Maybe that's a way to get through to them?
Yeah, the alternative is definitely, one way to drive that conversation. But at the end of the day, Frontline is doing everything we can to have options available. And every cost and structure is different, and that's based on size, architecture, hydration needs. But if someone were to take advantage of financing, we've got options that range between, $500 and $1,000 a month.
And the website, if people want some more information?
Yeah, best thing to do is go to frontlinewildfire.com and have a conversation. We'll be more than happy to help you out.
I hope it's warmer in San Diego because it's pretty cold here and windy tonight.
It's getting a little chilly.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, well.
I really appreciate you guys being out here.
Oh, yeah. Well, we thank you for keeping the homes and homeowners safe. Frontline Wildfire Defense, Gray Bailey, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Let's check in with Adam Kruger. And Adam, you're talking about a high wind warning or advisory because it is blasting pretty good out here tonight.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
Yeah, Marla, we've got wind alerts in effect, especially tomorrow. The winds pick up a little bit more. And right now, I know you've been talking a lot this evening about the winds where you are near the Palisades fire. And Christine, near the Eaton fire area, has been talking less about the wind because it's actually not windy over where she is right now. I'll show that on a map in a second. Here's just a live view, though, from Mount Wilson. As we have the twinkly lights, we've got a clear night. And yes, it is cool, and the winds are starting to pick up a little bit. Let me show you right now where we see the strongest wind gusts. Basically, they're coming down the 5 corridor. So from near Santa Clarita right to around the Palisades, Malibu, Santa Monica area, getting some gusts over 20 miles per hour. These red and purple colors, though, indicating potential for gusts over 35, which we are seeing in some of the higher elevations right now. And the winds will spread out and become even a little more intense for more areas tomorrow. So a cool and windy Thursday is in store for us. These are not Santa Ana winds, by the way, so they're not going to warm us up. We actually get colder tomorrow. Then we got a couple of cold nights that'll be a big headline for us. We'll look at those numbers in a moment. And Santa Ana winds do begin officially on Friday. and continue into the middle of next week. A long-duration Santa Ana wind event is upon us. There are no red flag warnings or fire weather warnings in effect, but we have high wind warnings in this kind of darker yellow color here, and areas in tan, which would include a lot of the greater LA area to Orange County to IE. That's a wind advisory, which is a little less severe. So in the wind advisory zone, we expect winds out of the north sustained at about 15 to 25. Gusts could peak around 40. But in the high wind warning, which again is mostly the higher terrain, we could see sustained winds at 20 to 40, gusting up to 60 or even above for some of the most extreme cases. Now, the wind direction is crucial here because, again, right now and through tomorrow, the winds are coming out of the northwest. So we're going to find these streaks where we have some of the stronger winds. Watch as the winds change direction, coming from the northeast on Friday, and then more of LA gets protected by the San Gabriel Mountains in this setup. So we're going to have the typical Santa Ana wind-prone corridors that will see those stronger winds remain on Friday. Here's the low zipping by that's giving us that boost in the wind tomorrow. Then we see this high pressure turning the winds, which gives us the offshore Santa Ana wind Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Still, it's a Santa Ana wind, and high pressure is going to help bring those temperatures up next week as well. But we have a chilly night tonight. 50 at about 8 o'clock in the morning. We're not going to warm up much above 60 in many spots tomorrow. Here's a look at the highs around the whole region. But I want to show you the forecast highs for LA going forward. Every single day gets warmer. We have a beautiful weekend. Lots of sunshine, by the way, in the forecast. And notice the 70s coming our way as we head through next week. Christine, back to you.
Coming up, we're talking about rebuilding faster. Prefabricated homes might be the answer. Coming up, we'll show you how quickly they can go up. Let's a closer look at how much it could cost. We're talking about rebuilding homes after disaster. Could prefab homes be faster and more affordable? Nick Garcia has a look.
This is a brand new house.
So this is the unit designed by AMEG.
Ready for move-in. And a symbol of hope for people who lost their homes in the LA fires a year ago.
Great.
These are prefabricated houses built in a factory to be placed on vacant lots.
We're showing fast, less expensive housing options to get people back on their lots quicker post-fires. Comes in 2 pieces.
Sarah Dussault is the lead strategist for LA for LA, one of the groups that organized this showcase of prefab houses called Hope Has an Address. Another organizer, Community Women Vital Voices, says the showcase has helped survivors.
People walked away saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is a decision I'm going to make, only because you all provided this opportunity for us.
There are several companies working specifically with homeowners in Altadena. Some have even designed homes that fit right in with the style the town is known for. True Vantage Homes is a company with options for less than $500,000, which includes materials designed to hold up in fire.
So the exterior of the homes are all cement fiberboard. We have 2x6 interior studs, and it's all very resistant. So we follow all of the California codes for fire hardening.
This is 355 square feet.
The options vary from tiny homes, which could be temporary during a build,
This is the primary bedroom.
to full houses ready for move-in. Some are built in a factory.
3D printed, comes with all the appliances.
Some are 3D printed.
For me, it's the features, the quality of the material and the features of the home. You get the same amenities.
For people who cannot afford a brand new build and all the extra costs that come with it, prefab could be the way to go.
Price is good. I've looked at the price points. A little bit cheaper than brand new construction, and you can actually be very flexible with how you want to build it out.
These companies are building more than homes. They're building hope. Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
And that is what stands out to me. So I'm in the parking lot here on Lake Avenue at the grocery outlet where there was an event earlier tonight. It was wall-to-wall people here. And Marla, so many people came up to me telling me their stories of attempting to recover, and seeing something like that, I think, does give perhaps some hope that things are happening. Marla?
For sure. And those homes remind me of Steadfast LA. That's a nonprofit that is being spearheaded by Rick Caruso here in the Palisades. They're modular homes. SteadfastLA.com for more information, because I know it can help a lot of people who really need the help. All right, our coverage of LA Live News tonight, special coverage for you, continues after the break.
Today marks 1 year since the Eaton and Palisades fires forever changed these communities.
Everyone else get your vehicle back away.
The damage was devastating, the recovery uneven. And for some families, the struggle is far from over.
It's all gone.
But through the setbacks, there's also been strength. Volunteers stepping up, neighbors lifting each other, communities refusing to be forgotten.
I really love being a Palisadian.
There's nothing like Altadena.
1 year later, we're taking you back to remember what was lost and to show how resilience continues to rise.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being with us. You're watching a special edition of LA Live News tonight at 9:30. I'm Marla Tejas, live in the Palisades burn zone.
And I'm Christine Devine, live in Altadena, where there was a big event, commemoration event here earlier tonight. The events continued. There was a candlelight vigil also in Altadena.
Fox 11's Ed Lascos, he's there. Ed, how was that candlelight vigil tonight?
Now, Marley, it was a difficult night, an emotional night, a night of reflection by so many who showed up at this very spot. Important to think about because we're at the top of North Lake Ave, and they were remembering at this very moment, this very spot a year ago, the fire burning, roaring out of that canyon, as so many of the survivors told me, roaring down North Lake Ave right into the heart of Altadena. Let's get to it. To the video we go, the candlelight vigil, a very large group, 200 or so strong, some bringing their candles, but most everybody bringing their emotions and their support for each other. Survivors of what they call here the Altadena fire, telling their own stories of survival, how they lost their homes, how they helped their neighbors, how they've been picking each other up, and talking about the 19 lives lost in this firestorm here in Altadena, applauding each other's strength. And as some have said, it's been a year, and still it seems to them like a nightmare. Listen.
As a community, we just here together.
Does it seem like a nightmare? The one fella said, he still can't believe it a year later.
It is a nightmare. I feel like I'm in a horror movie. That's what it really feels like because everything is moving slow.
I can see the smoke. There's the sparks of fire from the bark of the trees just moving across, the street. And I'm going, what's happening here?
Continues to be a disaster, continues to be a catastrophe. We still got to pay a house note. Well, we're trying to navigate the waters of rebuilding a house, navigate insurance, navigate lawsuit. So there's people that are right at the edge. There's not a lot of people had extra money to begin with before the fire. And so now just trying to make ends meet, we still need the assistance. We still need the help.
And now live to Dutch's point, he says still is a catastrophe even a year later, saying they need that help. They need that financial help. Many of the survivors here upset over their emotions, but also saying they want to pick up the pieces. They want to start rebuilding, but they're upset over the slow process of getting the building permits from L.A. County. So the process continues, but at least at this night, the community, the survivors coming together, Christine and Marla, coming together, supporting each other like they have from, a night ago, a year ago at this very spot. Back to you.
Yeah. Ed, so much support, and you're going to love this moment here. My next guest is watching your story and says, that's my auntie. Let me bring in Rashida Dove. Rashida, come on in. So you're watching Ed's story and you see your aunt?
Yes, my Aunt Priscilla. She lost her home, too.
Okay, and we're talking to you because your parents lost their home. Yeah. Talk about learning about the fire.
We were there during the fire. We left, and then the next morning we took my aunt actually to her home to get her cars because her home was burnt. Well, the neighbor behind her was burning, and then her home ended up burning down too. So.
And so your parents now, they lost their home. Where are they now?
They're in San Dimas right now, but it's kind of far because they do have. My dad is turning 80 this year, so and they do have a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff out this way. So it's kind of a lot going back and forth. But they are close to my sister. She's in San Dimas as well.
And you lost a business. Talk about the business you lost.
Well, I didn't lose it. I'm trying to rebuild it. It's Tribox. I'm temporarily open right now. I'm trying to get back into Altadena.
What kind of business?
It's a massage and body care.
Okay, but you also have, we're looking at your beautiful sweatshirt here. Raji, come on in as well. Now, you formed a company.
Yes, Hard Press Graphics. And we do all Altadena-inspired merchandise. So we're using it to fund our rebuild and also just to keep us financially afloat.
And what do you make of playing a role in all of this and helping survivors like Rashida?
It's a tragic event, but it's a great way to help commemorate it and to uplift the community.
So this is for me, I understand, right? How much is something like this? Where do people find it?
This sweater goes for $60, and you can find it on our website at hardpressgraphics.com.
And let me see your shirt, too. Dina for life. What does it mean to you to have another outlet?
It gives me something to keep busy with, so it helps me not to sink into like being depressed, and and also the community helps with that as well. I didn't want to get out of bed today, but with people, you want to come and be with the community. So
how can people find you and be a part of this?
Well, we're on Instagram at Hard Press Graphics. We're at a lot of events. We're doing an event tomorrow for small businesses with Altadena Chambers. So we're around a lot, and you can find us online at hardpressgraphics.com.
Are you finding people stop you and want a piece of this?
Yeah.
They always ask, where'd you get that from? Where can I get it? That looks amazing.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. Well, I wish you all with this journey that's evolving. And I'm thinking of your parents too. All right, Rashida Dutt, thank you so much. All right, we're going to send it back to Marla.
All right, Christine, thank you so much. Well, on the first day of the Palisades fire, as chaos literally spread, so did our crews out in the field. Among the crews was one particular duo, Matthew Seedorf, of course, one of our reporters, and photojournalist Sam Dubin, who is actually behind my camera tonight. Sam grew up here in the Palisades. The two of them, they went out to cover the fires as journalists, but also witnesses. What they witnessed, they'll never, ever forget. Take a look.
I remember we just started the shift, and Melissa sent a text saying, hey, you got to go to this fire in the Palisades. And, we've covered hundreds of fires in our news crews in LA. It's nothing unexpected. So I walk out my front door and I look north, and the header of this fire was insane. And it only had started about 10 minutes prior to that. And just seeing the size of it for only being a 10-minute-old fire, I knew that this was going to be a big one.
We didn't know if homes were being impacted or not yet. And we were still just trying to figure it out.
We started driving to the Palisades. We just saw the traffic that was attempting to leave. And that's something that I have never seen before in a brush fire. To see this many people evacuating from an urban area was quite surprising, and it was just chaos the minute we entered the Palisades.
On PCH, it was bumper to bumper. There's ambulances trying to get around all the cars. It just felt like pandemonium.
Right.
Like everyone was going everywhere. I remember thinking, just if it's hard for us, it's going to be hard for the firefighters too.
We saw a single LAPD unit with 2 officers trying to get up into the Palisades, and they were going lights and siren code 3 up there, but the streets were so jammed with people trying to leave that they couldn't come up.
Not seeing any firefighters where we are in Pacific Palisades. Flames just growing, a lot of homes burning. This was the first street where we saw smoke and fire coming down the hill.
Yeah, this was actually the first house I think we saw that was on fire.
I think we felt the helplessness right away when we got up to Shadow Mountain Drive. We tried calling 911 because we didn't see any firefighters there. One person was evacuating and was like, where are the firefighters?
Right.
And we're like, we're wondering the same thing. Looks like a home was under construction. See the scaffolding. Whatever was built, it looks like is destroyed. It's also getting this house next door on fire. You can hear the smoke alarm right now. No emergency crews out here.
We tried to put out a fire at one home. We saw the embers kind of going into the eaves. It looked like kind of a new construction home, and there was a gate. So we kicked down the gate. We made the decision together, okay, we're going to try to save this house.
We didn't know if we should be kicking down the fence.
Right.
Like, what if this house doesn't burn? Are we going to get in trouble for breaking down this fence?
Right. You saw the fire all around, and I felt that replacing 2 pieces of plywood was worth the risk of trying to save this home. But that house ended up just burning, and then those embers from that house fire just carried, across the street.
Winds are really picking up this afternoon. We've seen at least 3 homes on this street in flames. 1 house, 2, 3, 4, 5, like they're all on fire in this entire neighborhood.
All on fire. And I remember you pointed out one house had a Christmas tree in it, and it looked so eerie. Remember that?
Yeah, that's one of the most distinct memories I have of the fire.
And we actually eventually saw some firefighters.
At this point, this home is destroyed, but you can see firefighters still trying to put out the flames to keep it from spreading over to the next home.
And what they told us was, hey, we're outnumbered, so we're gonna have to only try to save the houses that we feel like we have a chance of saving.
Winds right now just gusting 30, 40 miles an hour, making it harder to firefighters get the upper hand on this thing.
We saw, one fire crew, we flagged them down. They were trying to save a home, and we said, hey, this whole block is about to go up in flames. And they looked at us and they said, well, if you can help us roll up our hoses, we'll get there faster. And we almost thought they were joking,
yeah,
but
they were so overwhelmed that they actually, while we were trying to help roll the hose with them, there's another neighbor's coming up saying, I have an elderly person who's stuck on this house. Can you help them? Right. And we're also telling them, well, there's these homes on fire over here, and there's another neighbor that came to us about someone else that was stuck. So it was complete chaos. And then we were outside one house when all of a sudden the fire hydrant made a sound I've never heard before. Where it sounded like just air was coming out. And I remember looking and like, is that what I think? Firefighters have lost water pressure on the hydrant. Yeah, they didn't have water coming out of that hydrant. And then at that moment I was like, this could get really bad.
The firefighter runs out of water in his hose, and we thought, oh, maybe they have to reset something in the fire engine or something. And he's like, no, there's no water coming out of the hydrant. We can't do anything.
I remember seeing the look on the firefighters, and they just looked so defeated. Yeah. Like there was nothing else they could do at that point.
Right after that, it was interesting. I felt like there was a little lull kind of in the wind, and things kind of felt calmer. And we ran into a homeowner, and he was watching the news on TV. He still had power and everything. He wasn't going to evacuate.
We parked right here.
Literally right here. And he actually came out and he gave us some food. He gave us some Gatorade and some water.
We appreciate it.
He was very optimistic. He said, oh, you think we're fine? And we said, yeah, it seems pretty calm.
That conversation probably haunts me, honestly. I remember him looking at me, and he was like, do you think my house will be okay? I was like, yeah. I mean, that fire is still way up there. You'll be fine. We came back the next day. His house is gone.
I think that's when we really woke up and said, wow, this is huge. I mean, this is one of the greatest natural disasters of U.S. history, probably. We were editing some video, and then I was checking Facebook, and my high school marine biology teacher, Miss Newbill, posted on Facebook, Pali High is on fire. I'm so sad. And I showed it to Matthew, and we were only about, I'd say, a mile from Pali High, and we were both looking around because where we were, it was very calm, and we said, there's no way. And then we drove a mile east on Sunset Boulevard, and just everything was on fire. It was a totally different world then.
And then from a reporting perspective, it's like, how do you convey that to viewers that the entire community is burning?
If you were to just look around you and do a full 360 spin, every single thing is on fire. You have the homes on one side, you have the high school on one side.
This entire neighborhood was on fire. Like almost every home, you could see flames coming out.
We walked up to the gate right here, and you just heard the alarms going off.
The firefighters were outside Palisades Charter High School. As the flames have reached campus, these are actual classrooms that we're seeing on fire. It's hard to imagine there were students here in class today. It's just hard to put into words. You can hear the firefighters yelling for more water.
We walked to the main entrance of Pali High, the iconic sign that's in all the movies and stuff like that, and it was just thick smoke. You could see the flames from the bungalows in the background, and it was super haunting. And that was probably one of the most eerie moments of the whole day.
When I got home that night, I could not go to sleep. I remember my wife, who was at the time like 8.5 months pregnant, like that was also in the back of my mind the whole time we were out there. I got home and she looked at me like, oh my gosh. It looked like we had been in a war. Yeah. I mean, we were covered in black ash and soot.
That was like a life-changing day. We will think about the rest of our lives.
I think every time a business opens or you see the turkey trots happening or the Christmas tree lighting, there is that sense of like, all right, things will return eventually, but it just feels slow, and I think every family is going through it at a different pace.
And I'm so honored to have Sam Dubin with me live tonight. As mentioned, he is my photojournalist tonight. Thank you for your heroic work last year and throughout the year, of course. A year later, how are you processing everything?
I mean, I don't know if you can process it. I mean, you just see the devastation, and to be here a year later, I mean, it's sad, but to see the progress in the building, it's hopeful. So, yeah.
One word or a few to describe how you're feeling today. Is it hopeful?
Hopeful, optimistic. I mean, just to see everyone today at the rally throughout the Palisades. I saw a lot of friends from high school I haven't seen in a long time, and their parents, people who've lost their homes, and people are in good spirits, I'd say. So the mood's a lot better on January 7th, 2026 than 2025.
Absolutely. All right, Sam, thank you so much. Let's send it over to Susan in the studio for a look at what's coming up in the news and the headlines today.
Well, thank you. Up next, a shocking twist in the case of Rob Reiner's son, accused of murdering his famous parents. His high-profile attorney suddenly steps down, but not before making a bold claim about his client's innocence. We'll take you there. Plus, a deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis sparks outrage, what witnesses say they saw, and why the mayor is calling federal claims garbage. Welcome back. I'm Susan Hirosuna with a look at some of today's top stories. Breaking in Salt Lake City, a shooting at a funeral outside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That left 2 people dead and 8 hurt, with 3 in critical condition. Right now, police are actively searching for suspects. Nick Reiner was supposed to be arraigned today. He's accused of the double murder of his parents. His high-profile attorney, Alan Jackson, abruptly quit. Jackson spoke outside court following the hearing, but gave no hints about why he's removing himself from the case. A public defender will take over. The plea hearing was rescheduled to February 23rd. An ICE officer shot and killed a Minneapolis woman during a federal immigration crackdown. Officials claim 37-year-old Renee Nicole Macklin Good tried to ram officers with her SUV. But witnesses and the mayor dispute this, calling the shooting reckless. The incident caught on video sparked protests and a vigil. Federal and state authorities are investigating. The operation, part of a broader immigration effort, has heightened tensions in the Twin Cities, with calls for accountability growing louder. Now let's send it back to Marla with a look at what's coming up next.
Susan, thanks. 1 year ago, two devastating fires tore through Southern California, leaving a trail of destruction and heartbreak. Tonight, we revisit the chaos, the heroes, and the unanswered questions about billions in disaster aid. Stay with us. Welcome back to our special edition of LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas, live in Pacific Palisades.
And I'm Christine Devine, live in Altadena. It is a bit chilly out here. Behind me here is a building that was destroyed in the wildfires. Let's go ahead and reflect as we bring this show to a close and look at some of the numbers here. In Altadena, while crews battled the Palisades fire, the Eaton fire broke out after at 6:17 p.m., burning 14,000 acres. Over 9,000 structures were destroyed. 19 lives were lost. Now, California's requested nearly $40 billion in federal disaster aid that is yet to be approved by the Trump administration. Marla.
Well, Christine, the day before on January 6th, red flag warnings were issued with wind gusts expected to reach 90 miles per hour. The next morning, on the 7th, a fire broke out in the Pacific Palisades, burning almost 24,000 acres, destroying close to 7,000 structures and taking 12 lives. In October, 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderneck was arrested, charged with starting a fire. Became known as the Lockman Fire. Prosecutors allege Rinderneck intentionally started that fire on New Year's Day 2025, which later spread due to the strong winds and became the Palisades Fire. Right now, he remains behind bars with his federal trial scheduled to begin in April. If convicted, he could face up to 45 years in prison.
We have covered a lot of events today. Here is one of them. Hundreds gathered in the Palisades for a protest dubbed They Let Us Burn. Reality TV star turned community activist Spencer Pratt, who lost his home in the fire, got this crowd fired up when he made a major announcement.
And I'm done waiting for someone to take real action. That's why I am running for mayor.
He's a former star of The Hills. He's become a sharp critic of L.A. Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom for their handling of the wildfires. Marla?
Many people asking, where is Mayor Bass today? Well, she led a flag lowering ceremony at City Hall. She's directed City Hall be lit in blue tonight to honor the Palisades community. The mayor has said she planned to mark the anniversary at several private vigils. She declined an interview from Fox 11 to appear with us in our coverage. She also put out a statement. It reads in part, full recovery is a long-term, multi-year effort that must leverage innovative solutions to protect the community for the future in the face of more frequent and severe climate threats. I remain committed to continuing to use the full force of my mayoral power to restore the Palisades community and return families home as quickly and safely as